All right, so let me open up we'll go over the scenario real quick. All right, so we've gone on a boundary water canoe trip with 5 friends to upper Minnesota. Yeah, okay, sorry, I'm just going to do a quick synopsis. 15 to 18 miles away from Texas Road, which is a ride by paddling through lakes and rivers, and usually portages around Niagara Falls. It's usually has bad weather. It's cooler than the nearest town. It's 60 miles away. Limited medical help. The terrain is 70% land, 30% water, with a small patch of land here and there. Between lakes and rivers, bears are not uncommon. All right, so temperatures 25 degrees to 70 degrees, often the same day. Night times pretty cold in the 20s. Frequent rain, life-threatening temperatures. It's unusual for the weather to stay the same for more than 2 days. Okay, we're groups go down the river. We came on some rapids. Rather than taking a land route, we decided to keep going down the rapids. Unfortunately, everyone fell out and our canoes got broken. Some of us got broken. No one was killed. One person suffered a broken leg, and several others had cuts and bruises. Both canoes were damaged severely. Both were bent in half, one with an open tear of 18 inches, and the other one with a tear of 12 to 15. Both gun whales had broken. You lost your pack without the tent, most clothing, nearly all the food, cooking equipment, fuel, first aid, the flashlight. Your combined possessions include the items shown in the table below. You had permits to take this trip, and no one knows for sure where you are. The closest phone is in Grand Marais. You were scheduled 4 days from now, so it's likely a search party won't be sent out until more than 5 days. And it's just started to drizzle. Looks like rain to follow. Your task is to figure out how to survive in unpredictable, possibly harsh conditions until you can get help. All right, so I set up a spreadsheet so we can view everyone's answers next to each other. So if you guys just want to go down the line and tell me what ranking you gave each item, and then we'll go over them as a group real quick.
Cool.
So we'll start with Tommy. If you just want to, just give me a number going down.
So cool. So the first one I gave a 5.
Okay.
Then 1, 8, 13, 11, 14, 2, 10, 6, 12, 7, 9, 4, and 3.
All right, and then we'll go with Dalen.
Oh, can you hear me, guys?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, mine go like this: 14, 8, 4, 7, 11, 13, 6, 1, 5, 9, 3, 2, 10, and 12.
And Laurie.
Okay, 14, 3, 12, 2, 13, 10, 4, 1, 9, 11, 8, 7, 6, 5.
All right, so let's see here. I messed up on yours. I'm sorry. You had 14.
I'll read it again.
Yeah.
14,
Okay.
3, 12, 2, 13, 10, 4, 1, 9, 11, 8, and then 7, 6, 5.
Okay. Alrighty, so I'll just share my screen with the spreadsheet, so it'll have the expert answers and what we picked on it, and then we can discuss our group choices.
Are we supposed to come together before the expert? We see the expert ones though? Like make our own decisions before we see theirs?
Yeah, we'll hide it. Sorry, because I already read them when I was going through the group leading stuff, but okay, so let me stop sharing this real quick, and then I'll make it a little easier for us to look without the expert rankings on here.
See, this was interesting to me. My second son was lost in the Sequoia Forest when he was 13 on a scout camp. He wandered away in the morning and they'd seen bears and they called out search and rescue, and he was really small at the time. Like now he's 6 feet tall, but I think he was 75 pounds then. And he was found halfway around the mountain missing a shoe, but he was okay. It was pretty miraculous. He was gone for like 13 or 14 hours.
Well, let's go. It's scary.
It is scary. Although we didn't know till after. They didn't tell us. I found out when search and rescue called to tell me that he really was okay and not to worry.
Yeah. Jeez. All right. Okay. Let me share this screen. So this is all of our choices here. So, so for the fanny pack of food, Tommy said it was 5th importance. Dalen and Lori both said 14, and then I said 7.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
Maybe we should start with what everybody's first one was, because I don't know that I can rank everything without knowing what's most important.
Okay.
And maybe that's just me, the way my brain works, but I want to know what I'm ranking first before I change my ranking of the fanny pack of food.
No, we can do that. So number 1, Tommy and I both put the plastic cover map. And then you and Dalen put the duct tape as 1.
I put duct tape because duct tape is like a miracle thing. My kids love watching Mythbusters. They made a canoe out of duct tape. You can make bowls out of duct tape. You can use it to bind wounds. You can use it to do so many things. You could make a bowl that you could put the water in to put the purification tablets in. I just think that it is one of the most important things. Not that the map isn't good.
So I put the map as number 1 because I've done some pretty extensive like land navigation with maps and whatnot. So I figured at like with the 18 miles to the nearest road, you know, if I figured with a map I could get to that road within 4 or 5 hours.
Definitely.
Right, but how are you going to get to that road because your boat is broken? You don't have a container for water. You need something that will let you get there, because 15 to 18 miles, you're not going to hike that probably in a day, and it's really hard with the water. You probably need your boat. And so if you don't have a boat, you can't, that map doesn't help you. You need to use the duct tape to fix the boat.
Well, the thing is you can use land features like the maps or like the rivers and lakes, whatever that you're coming across, to navigate around them.
You can. You can, but you won't have water to drink. You won't have, because you don't have, you know, you.
Yeah, but.
I mean, I guess you could. You can just, you're not going to get sick right away from the water. I mean, you might, but nothing so much you couldn't hike, you know, if you can hike out and get to a doctor, you should be okay. But the best way really is the boat. If you can fix the boat, then you're going to get out a little bit faster. And that map is going to be one of the most helpful things. I just don't know that it's the most helpful thing.
I just feel without the map, there's no hope.
I'm agreeing with Laurie on the duct tape being most important. But Alex, you've really persuaded me that maybe we rank map as number 2 importance here. And the
I would
reason
agree
why
with that.
I'm kind of feeling the duct tape just because from experience, you can make duct tape, you can turn it into rope. You know, Laurie's mentioned some things. We got some broken fishing poles that we're probably taking along. You can use it to fix that. We can use it to make a spear, take some rock, kind of sharp, duct tape it onto end and stick. You can use it even as insect repellent. I've used this at scout camp where I'll just duct tape, have it dangling from a branch, and insects will run into it, and it kind of helps protect you. We can use it to kind of create shelters, and I think slings. If someone's got a broken leg, that's going to be super helpful to just kind of help keep things together in their leg or sprained ankle. We just duct tape it. And
Well,
so
and
I think health-wise and our safety-wise, we need duct tape before we need to know how we're getting there. We need to take care of our needs of safety.
Well, and if we are taking the boat, we don't even know if we have paddles. If we don't have paddles, you can make a paddle out of one of the broken fishing rods or a stick that you can break apart. You're duct taping a frisbee. It might not be ideal, but it's a multi-use tool that would fulfill many needs.
I just feel we don't have enough tape. A 30 roll, I don't know that's enough to do all these things. That's why I feel like the map, if one of us can get out and find help, they can, at least one of us go and get help. It'll be better than just trying to fix a boat with just one roll of tape.
But do you want to send just one person? Is it wise to send one person? What if they get hurt? What if they, you know, there's lots of things that could happen. It's probably better to send more than one person. We have 5 people. You know that I'd send 4 people, you know, but.
I think we send 2 people, the 2 least injured people, and leave the 3 others behind to kind of set up camp.
Yeah, I think that sounds reasonable.
I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter 1 or 2, but I still think I'd rather have a map because, you know, I mean, get to the road. And as soon as you get to the road, you can, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to see somebody before not too long.
Yeah, but wasn't the nearest road is 15 to 18 miles away. Even if you're a really great hiker and you can do that in a day, it says it's arrived at by paddling through lakes and rivers and usually portaging around numerous falls. So it doesn't mean that the straightest path without a boat is 15 to 18 miles. It means the closest with a boat is 15 to 18 miles. So if you don't have a boat, it's going to take you a lot longer.
Yeah, but like Tommy said, you're not going to be able to fix these boats with just duct tape.
I don't know. I think if you take those fishing poles and you duct tape it down and you use some of that the paracord, you can break paracord. You can use it to cut itself. You don't even need a knife. You just use friction, and it will cut itself. And so you could do things to get this boat where it could get going and get you out faster.
Yeah.
You can use the duct tape to seal the sides. If you can make a boat out of duct tape, you can, you know, seal those cuts in the side. You could use duct tape and rope along with either sticks you break or the fishing pole or something to kind of shore up the sides. And then you have a mode of transportation that's faster and uses less effort than hiking out.
I can agree that we need duct tape for like most important, but I don't think the most effective thing to do would be use 30 foot of like something we could use for splints or making shelter and fix the boat, because you know what I mean, you start hitting bumps or something, a rock will go right through that tape, and then you wasted 30 feet of your.
We don't need 30 feet to patch a 18-inch hole in a boat.
But you broke the gunwales.
You did, but you can use rope, you can use other things. I don't know, we don't have a lot of information. I did a little research on this area to find out a little bit more about it and found a couple tales of people who got lost out there and were injured. And it was pretty scary. Some people died out there. But most people got out with boats. They didn't hike out, or people came across them and found them and then went down and told people they were there. So, well, what do we think should be number 1 then? If everybody were to rank, what would your number 1 be?
I could go with duct tape being 1, but I don't think it'd be the boat thing would be viable. I could see it being like for first aid, making a splint or trying to set up a shelter or some sort. But
we only have 30 feet. You couldn't do everything with it, but there are a lot of uses for it. You need to prioritize what they were.
Yeah.
So
What's the number 1?
One use for that map. And, you know,
Yeah.
we're already
Some
we
priorities
already have
heading
a
out.
general sense of where we're going. We can tell where the rivers are headed, and we're headed that direction.
I don't know, because like if you don't have a map to orient yourself, you don't know where you're heading.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Like that's
Well, I would say map would be number 2 then. Duct tape 1, map 2, because the map is really important. I agree with you that it's really important no matter how we get out, whether we walk or we take a boat, you know, whatever we do, that map is the key to going the right way towards civilization instead of getting lost.
yeah.
The thing is, I just feel
That's
like with the tape,
that's my ranking
you need a
too. I think
strategy
I'm going to
more
put
to
duct tape
stay
first
where
and
we're at.
map at number 2. Sorry,
Sorry,
Tommy.
guys.
No, you're good. But I mean, like, I think my number one priority is to get out of there. And with the tape, we might be able to stay there a little longer and make people more comfortable, but we don't have enough stuff to keep people there that long.
Yeah. I agree. I still think the map's most important, but like I can, can see that we need duct tape to fix the leg and do a splint for the people who can't move.
I'm not even worried about splinting the leg. It's a nice thing, but honestly, I don't want them to have to re-break the leg, but getting out faster is more important than splinting that leg. You know, unless there's a bone protruding and it doesn't say that, they'll be uncomfortable and they'll be in pain, but you could use the paracord with some sticks or something to splint that. It's not ideal, but there are other options in duct tape. The duct tape needs to be used for things that are most important to either escape or to sustain life. And the leg being broken doesn't kill someone immediately. Not having help could.
Yeah, but I still don't see 30 feet of duct tape fixing up 2 canoes that were holding 5 people.
You only need one fixed. I think you should use the other one to offer you some shelter from the rain. If you could get under it, sit on something, you'd have some protection from the rain and from the wind from the temperatures.
So
I looked up to see how big the boats were. The boats at this place are usually 18 feet by, and I don't remember, it's like 2.5 feet. I looked up the company that does the boats for this, and they're pretty big boats.
So it says that both were bent in half, damaged severely.
Yes.
I don't see 30 feet of duct tape fixing a canoe that's damaged severely.
Well, what I would suggest is you use the duct tape to fix the holes in the side, because unless that is solid, you know, you're going to have water come in the canoe. It's kind of pointless to have a canoe. If you take your broken fishing rods or some of the rope, there is a way to kind of reinforce those gunwales and have them work well. And if you're not doing rapids, you know, you're not going up and down waterfalls, you're going around them. If you could repair a boat, it is your fastest way out. You know, or you could take parts from one of the broken ones and use the wood from one of the broken gunwales. If you can pull that off and attach that with rope or with some duct tape, you know, you don't need to do the whole trip. You just need to go 15 to 18 miles.
The gunwales breaking, that's the whole thing that keeps the canoe together. You know what I mean?
I know. I've been in many canoes. I've been whitewater rafting. I've done lots of things like that. You know, not in canoes, not whitewater rafting in canoes. But the point is, it's not ideal. But if you can make a boat out of duct tape and sticks, you could repair those gunwales. You have 2 broken boats. You could take the gunwales from one of the broken boats, the more damaged one, remove them, put them in duct tape or tie them in with rope, do something, and get it so it's stable enough that it will keep its shape for you to go out via boat.
We can put it as one, but I don't think that's the fixing the boats gonna be a.
I don't want you to do it if you don't agree. I just have a husband who's like MacGyver. Did you ever see MacGyver?
Yeah, no, I mean I understand that, but like
the parking brake with a barrette. So my husband can fix anything. So if my husband were with me, I know he could fix the canoes. So I'll just say that's my point of reference. Is my husband can fix a parking brake in a car with a barrette, so he can fix a boat with some broken boat parts and duct tape.
Yeah, I'm just thinking because like I've been in situations where the Army's dumped me out in the middle of nowhere and all I had was a map and a compass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Back. So like to me, I know that if I have a map, I can get somewhere where I can get help to those people quicker than trying to make shift to get a boat to work that might wreck 10 feet down the river. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't know. You can hit a rock. Like every time I've gone canoeing, I've scraped rocks and boulders and stuff in the water. And you have a boat, a canoe bent in half is severely damaged 30 feet.
Oh, yeah.
Is not going to secure it enough to make it enough. Have like the structure that's secure enough to go down the river.
Well, so what do you think should be number one? Do you think we should make duct tape number one or no?
I can save the duct tape for like health reasons. Or not, yeah, for like to help out with making it so if that does take the hikers a little bit of time to get some help, that they can make a nicer, come make like to stay warm or make a shelter to stay out of the rain where they can build a fire and get dry.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think for the boat purpose, repairing the boat, I don't think that's why it should be number one.
Okay, but you would agree that it could be number one.
Yeah, I can put it at number one.
I just got a text from Tommy saying he's having some internet problems, but saw you came back. Tommy, are you here?
Yeah, I'm doing it from my phone now.
Okay. What do you think about duct tape as number one?
I mean, I'm either way. Like, you guys made some really good points. When I first saw duct tape, I didn't think it'd be that important, but 10. What are you guys going with?
I'm still with thinking it's number one. Alex said he could go either way, but not for the boat repairing, but for helping with shelter and wounds and things.
Yeah. My main thing is just trying to get out of there, and I don't know if tape is going to be that important. It'll be important to help the people that are there, but I don't know about getting us out of there. Concerned.
And Dalen, were you with number one for duct tape, or did you have something else as number one?
No, I had duct tape as number one. But I could side for map number one. Alex and Tommy are kind of feeling on this. I'm kind of thinking, if this is us, let's say we're 4 of the 5 people and the 5th person has a broken leg, so we're the other 4. And, if Alex is kind of feeling like, yeah, I've been dropped off with just a map, and that's what I feel like most important. It'd be great, Laura, if we had your husband and you were like, he could do it, he can fix it. Let's say it's us 4, then it's like,
Right.
Well, we might be able to repair that boat, but your husband's not here,
Well, I've been married for long enough I could fix a boat. I actually have learned a lot from being with him. I could fix a boat with duct tape and rope and the broken fishing rods or the broken boat. But I don't know if you would feel comfortable with me taking it, but I'm a pretty good canoeer and swimmer, and I'd be happy to go take that boat and fix it along the way if it broke again, as long as I had, a little bit more duct tape and some rope with me, leaving some behind for those that needed to stay behind.
Yeah.
I may not look like an athletic girl, but I actually run 10 Ks and do all sorts of things. So I'm a pretty fit girl, and so I'm not uncomfortable with doing something like this over land.
Yeah. I just feel like it's if the main goal is to get out there, I feel like wasting resources on a route that won't be, like 100%. Like the odds of that canoe making it down to where you need to be are pretty rare. But the odds of, someone just walking there, like I feel like the walking, you got better chances than putting some duct tape on a boat that's been severely damaged, trying to make your way down there.
Well, I feel pretty strongly duct tape should be one, but if you feel that the map is more important, I will go with what our group says. I'm not so stubborn that I can't. As long as my duct tape is up there near the top, I'm not going to argue.
I think duct tape's good. If it's going to be used for like making a shelter so we can get a fire going, or something to keep just the water off to keep the people who are stuck there so they don't freeze when it takes a day and a half to get to a road.
Right.
So I can say it's number one, but not. I think trying to fix the canoe is a waste.
Okay. So does everybody agree duct tape should be one, or do we have more to talk about with this?
Tommy, I kind of want to hear your thoughts on it. I feel like you weren't really siding for it.
I feel like if we were to duct tape the boat and something were to happen, like it's not strong enough, then we're going to be stranded again and used all our duct tape. Because the report says that the damage is pretty bad, and I have confidence that we can probably fix it, but what if something were to happen again and we're stranded somewhere else? So I'd rather use the duct tape to help the people out, and then the map to have 1 or 2 of us go and find help and help. I don't know. Those are my 2 cents.
I can totally see what you're saying, and I agree with you to some point, but this happened because they chose to go down the falls in the canoe. I think from what I've read about this area, it's not like there's a lot of rapids you're going through on your canoe. And I'm not saying we have to use it for a canoe, but I don't know that you'd have as many problems. I think after something like this, you'd be a whole lot more careful with that boat and, you know, portage over land rather than try and take the falls again. But that's neither here nor there. So
All right. Well, we'll put duct tape as one. We spent a little too much time. We got to go forward.
Sorry about that. I think map should be 2.
Yeah, I'm okay if we put map as 1 and duct tape as 2.
I'm
Would you
down
guys
for
feel
that.
better about that? Tommy, would you feel better about that?
Yeah, I can put duct tape as 2.
Okay.
Alex, how do you feel about that?
Either one. Like, if I have both, it doesn't. Like, I've never used duct tape. You know, when I've been sent out in the middle of nowhere, I've used a ton of parachute cord. You know, but never duct tape. But you know, it's if we have it, then good on it. It's, you know, we can throw on there. I don't care. All right. So
Laurie, how would you feel putting it as number 2 instead of 1?
I think it's more important, but I will defer to the group because I agree that the map is really important. And I don't think it's worth arguing over because we'll have both.
Okay, so 3. I said duct tape was 3, so that doesn't matter anymore.
I said the map was 3 and we made that 2, so.
Okay, perfect. 3 was matches for Dalen, and the sleeping bags were 3 for Tommy.
You know, sleeping bags are pretty important. We should talk about those.
Yeah, the way I saw it was, if we're wet, I mean, luckily this will keep us warm and help us out. Like if we have to camp out there for a few days.
I agree with you. The synthetic sleeping bags work a lot better than the down ones. So in this situation, they're really good to have. And the temperatures vary so much. I think they're pretty important.
Although they are soggy bags.
They are, but synthetic bags still keep you somewhat warm, so you're not going to die when they're wet. Ideally, they're dry, but they still work better. If we had a down bag, it wouldn't help us at all. But a synthetic bag works okay when it's wet. You're not happy, but you won't freeze.
Okay.
Would that work better than starting a fire to stay warm?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think like I don't think that the bags are not important, but I feel like there's other things we could put above the bags.
There are. You could do matches or different things, but remember the wood is really wet, and we have 30 matches. If you get it going, you can keep the fire going. You can put wood close to it, that'll dry it out. But you don't have a knife to cut away the wet outside of the wood, so that's going to be a struggle. I think it'd be good to have both.
So alcohol starts to burn at 80 proof. So if we have a pint of 180 proof whiskey, that could be a good accelerant to get some fire going.
You could also use insect repellent.
Yeah, I don't think that's super high on the list, but just a thought.
It's funny because I work at a bar, and the strongest alcohol we had is 100 proof, which is 50% alcohol. So this whiskey is 90% alcohol. So
Yeah,
I don't think anybody wants to drink it, but I think it'd be really good for starting a fire.
yeah, you could use it for disinfecting like wounds and starting fires. I think it'd be useful to have. But
what I was actually thinking was it would be really wise to take some of those wet clothes, douse them in alcohol, wrap them around wood, and make a porch of some kind that you put near to dry out some wood. I think that'd be easier than starting a fire. And then you could use that to start a fire. I don't know if that's really practical or not, but it's a lot easier to light clothing, although it is wet. Everything's wet.
So
Maybe I've watched too much TV.
for 3 though, what do you guys think should be the next one? My vote's actually parachute cord.
Okay.
But what do you guys think the next one should be? What's the next important thing to you guys?
My second one was fishing poles, but if we're not using them to fix the boat, then they're not as important. I mean, it is nice to have food, but you can live without food longer than you can live without a source of heat. You know, I was thinking we'd fix the boats. I think something to keep you warm, either matches and whiskey or something like that to start a fire, or the sleeping bags. But I think the sleeping bags will offer immediate warmth. So I think they're a little bit more important, and then maybe matches right after it.
I can see matches, it won't work by themselves because everything's wet.
Right.
So it's going to take at least 2 items for do matches and whiskey, matches and something else. So I've changed my answer to be sleeping bags. Let's get, like, if we're ranking it more important, I'd rather take 1 item than try to do 2 or 3.
I like that. That makes sense. And Tommy?
Yeah, I'm down for that. I had the water purification tablets, but now seeing that heat is an important thing to keep us warm,
Yeah.
I'm down to change mine.
Okay. So the sleeping bag, I like that. You guys want to do that 3 then?
Yeah.
Okay. I still think at some point we need the parachute cord, because
Oh yeah.
I've gone out in the, like I said, we've done like training like this where you get stuck and you have to get out and somewhere like a little bit wilderness survival stuff. And I've always been able to build a shelter with 550 cord or parachute cord, and just whatever I find in the forest.
I would agree with that. That's the next thing. I think paracord would be really good.
Would we rank that? Alex, kind of tell me from your experience. We have the map. So the idea is we take 2 people. They got the map. They're taking off. The other group left behind has duct tape. And now we got them bags. So we've kind of taken care of like their immediate warmth. Would it be beneficial to get a compass for that map to get out?
I ranked the compass as number 2 because it's easier to just look at a map, shoot an azimuth, find exactly where you need to go, and then you can trace your steps. Like I have my steps are 56 steps for 100 yards, so like I can track my distance with it. But or not 56, excuse me, 76. But you don't need the compass, because if there's that many maps, you can just use what's it called? Landmarks.
Features like the rivers and the lakes and other things. I think not that it's not important, but I don't think you need it as much if this map is really detailed.
Yeah, if you got just a normal like topical map, like an 8-digit grid squares, you can find anything up to like 5 meters. So I don't think it'll be, compass isn't that big of a deal, but it does make it easy. But I think with the 550 cord, you can build, you can build a little hoops. You can put a fire underneath it to keep it dry. You can hang all your clothes over the fire to dry them out. Your bags. It kind of helps out the people who are there to let them survive while the other people are getting help.
Well, and we can send some paracord with the other people. As I mentioned, you can cut paracord with it, just with simple friction. If you do it enough, you put it between your feet, you can cut it with the cord itself and split it up and send some with the people that go and some with the people that stay. So I think it would be really good to have for both groups. The people that go to rest, get help, and the people that stay.
And 35 feet of, I feel like 35 feet of paracord go farther than 35 or 30 feet of duct tape. So once you put duct tape on, if you try to pull it off something, it just gets ruined.
Right.
But paracord you can use over and over again.
That's true. All right, so we kind of thinking ranking it as number 4.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So what do you guys
Tommy,
think?
Did you have a feeling against that, Tommy, or another?
No, I'm good with that.
All right, and then all right, so number 5. Who wants to start with their number 5 pick?
I'm kind of abandoning what I did. I think I'm just going to look at what I think should be next, if that's okay. I think the flotation devices would be helpful. You can use them to put them on the ground so you're not sitting right on the wet ground. If we do send people off in a boat, it'll be helpful for them to have I think they could be helpful in keeping the people at camp off the wet ground, which will keep them warmer.
Yeah, and they're super. They hold in heat really well.
Mm-hmm.
I can get behind that.
I'm thinking we should rank that next.
Okay. What do you think, Tommy?
I'm down. Oh yeah, sounds like a good idea.
Okay. All right. So 6. Dalen, what do you think 6 should be?
Gosh, I don't know.
So left we have matches, insect repellent, whiskey, yellow frisbee, set of clothes for 3, and fishing poles. And
I
food.
think I'm gonna kind of lean back towards doing matches or whiskey.
Okay.
But
All right, so which one do you want to pick, and why?
or maybe even water purification tablets. Actually, I think that might be more beneficial. Even if we just sent one to the group, to the 2 guys going out, just in case they need it, to keep traveling at a good speed, and then leave some behind for the people waiting, because it may be a few days. Because you can only really live like you'll be fine with that food for about 3 or more days and be able to function really adequately. But we got to have water, and I don't know. I didn't do any research on the area, so I don't know. Maybe the water's fine when it's coming off the fall.
Well, it's really not, but what I learned from like the courses the Army do is if you're gonna be okay for like if it's just like a 3 or 4 day thing, you're all right. 'Cause the sicknesses you're gonna get from drinking stuff out of the river, you're only gonna get sick, and like it'll take like a week or 2 to get sick.
And also, if you think about it, you have water purification tablets. What are we going to put them in? We don't have anything to hold water. I mean, you could use your frisbee. You could make something out of the duct tape, but we can't just stick a water purification tablet in a stream and it's fine. So while in theory it sounds great, we have to think about what are we going to put the water in that then we put the tablet in. I think matches might be better.
Yeah,
because it keeps you warm.
Me out of that one. I'm seeing they're not beneficial at this situation.
Well, it would be good if you had a canteen or something.
Yeah.
Or a pot you could put over the water, but then you could use the matches and heat the water.
So looks like for the water purification, Tommy, you put them as 2.
Yeah.
Dalen, you put them at 6. Laurie, you put them at 4. I put them at 13. I feel like
I would actually lean more toward you. I don't think it's as important as I thought it was when I was first thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you guys. I don't think it's.
I mean, I don't know if it's 13, but I wouldn't rank it like 6, which is where we are.
Yeah, I agree. I'll go for the whiskey or the matches.
Which would you say was more important, Tommy, if you had to pick between the 2?
Maybe I had whiskey as number 6, so maybe whiskey.
Why?
Because I mean, we can use it to, if the broken leg is pretty bad, if there's any cuts or scrapes or deep cuts, it'll be good disinfectant. We can probably use it to make a fire.
But not without matches.
That's true. Exactly. So I can go either way at this point.
I think it should be I'm leaning more towards whiskey because you can make a fire without matches, and if you only have 30 of them, like you're not gonna want to use them very liberally.
Right, but if you got a fire going and kept it going, you would do better, and then everything else would work better. But I'm okay either way, as long as we have matches and whiskey close to each other. If you want to put whiskey first and matches next, I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah,
like 6 for whiskey, 7 for matches.
Cool. All right, and 8. So we have food, fishing poles, yellow frisbee, set of clothes, water purification tablets, insect repellent, and compass. Laurie?
I think we should think about the insect repellent because this is an area with a lot of water, and yes, it can get cold, but if you're anywhere where there's a lot of water and there's humidity, there's bugs. And they can carry disease. They can make everything really uncomfortable. You can use insect repellent as a propellant if you absolutely need to. We have the whiskeys, that's not an issue, but I think we should think about insect repellent.
I like that.
That's a good point.
I feel like everything else we've covered, we've kind of got some heat and everything going, but I hate getting bit by bugs.
Yeah, it would just make you miserable while you're waiting too. You already have somebody with a broken leg. They don't want mosquito bites everywhere.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
But we do need to think about food. I mean, yes, we can live for a while, but we do have some fishing poles that could be repaired that we could fish with. I don't know about the fanny pack of food. That's so little food. Maybe we send that with the people that are going off to find some help. But I think
thinking I'm going to rank the fishing poles, even the wet clothes, before insect repellent. So I could see some usefulness of having some extra clothes, especially if we get a fire going and they can be dry. Or we use them even as more rope or more shelter or something else.
That's true.
That's true. I mean, it's kind of like the duct tape thing, but it's not used up if we use it once. We're using it like for other things. So I feel like the wet clothes and the fishing poles are going to be better. The mosquitoes, I kind of like how we were talking about the water, like nothing's really going to hurt you for a while. I mean, being bit by a bunch of mosquitoes. I served in the Amazons of Brazil, and I had tons of companions that got what's called dengue, which is carried by the mosquitoes down there. I wonder if it was made up by an American because it sounds like dang, but it's like dengue. And if you're bit, it takes a few days for anything to really happen to you. And you're sick and it sucks, but you're going to be all right. I mean,
I would put clothes before the insect repellent because I can see what you said about it being useful. That we could use it for other things or for warmth if we dried it out.
I like that too because when I saw them wet, I was like the thing was, well, I'm not gonna put on wet clothes. And wet clothes, I'll just keep those ones on.
Yeah.
But you could use them as shelter. You know, if you make shelter with the paracord and stuff you find in there. It'll be an extra layer of like insulation on top of whatever vehicle or whatever you build.
Yeah.
So Tommy, would you agree with that if we move clothes to 8?
Yeah. I remember I had a Boy Scout class where we had to make our own shelter, and I think any clothes would have been nice.
Yeah.
All right, and then. So I think we should probably put the fishing poles next because with the duct tape or the 550 cord, you can fix them.
Okay.
Or
I'm down for that.
Or even just use the halves that you have to fish.
Yeah, I agree.
A little more long term.
But I don't think we should put the insect repellent too far down. I think maybe that should be next because even though it is a discomfort thing, I think that's really important for the morale of the group. If you can, have people not be eaten alive by bugs, it would help it be better.
You want insect repellent above fishing poles?
Yeah, I'm sorry, above what? No, fishing poles next. So fishing poles 9 and maybe insect repellent 10.
Okay.
And I'm good.
So what left we have is the compass, insectant repellent, frisbee, water purification tablets, and fanny pack food. So at this point, I feel like I would go with the fanny pack of food being 11.
Yeah.
Okay, I can go with that.
And I think we just send that with the 2 that are leaving, honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
So frisbee, water tablets, and compass.
I say we send the frisbee and the water purification tablets with the people going off. They can use it to put the water in it, purify their water. I mean, that's not a big thing, but you can use it to signal. If something happened and they needed to dig with it, you could dig with. I mean, there's all sorts of things they could do with a frisbee. It might sound like just a impractical thing, but it can be used for a lot of practical purposes.
I like it because you can, I like that you can signal or dig with it. I can agree with that. I think that's a good idea.
The 12 for frisbee.
Should we place that before the compass? Could the compass increase their speed of travel? If the map isn't super detailed, or could it increase how quickly they get help?
Yeah, because if you have a compass and you can shoot your azimuth, you can plot, okay, this river or this lake we got to go around. You can get your distance with the map, and then it's definitely easier with the compass, but but if you can just look and be like, oh, I'm right here at this lake, I can walk around it. It's not that big a deal. So it would be quicker, but
I could go either way, but I think with this plastic cover map of the region, they got it for this trip. I would imagine it's a pretty detailed map. If the compass will make it faster, I agree that it should be ranked higher than the Frisbee. But if it's not going to make them significantly faster, and the Frisbee could be a tool either for the people that stay or the people that go, I think we should consider putting that above it, whichever one would benefit the group the most.
Okay, I'm gonna do. How about the compass at 13 and the water purifier at 14?
Are we leaving the Frisbee at 12?
Yeah, are you guys okay with that?
I'm good with that.
Okay.
And then, like I said, the water purification tablets, I think it's not a big deal because if you're out there for 2 weeks, someone's probably dead by now. It's,
I hope not, but.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll put on the expert ranking so we can see how we did compared to what they think. Okay, do that. Here. Okay. Let's see. That's all right. My spreadsheet's doing something stupid. Just undo this.
And it's fun to have an audience while it does it, huh?
That's really cool. C5, E5. I don't know what's going on here. 6. All right, well, I guess I'll just have to plug them back in. I had it all set up, but it's... That's right. I don't know why I won't do that. 3. There we go. All right, cool. Maybe. C5. This is... Okay. That's weird. All right, anyway. Okay, so our persuasion score, no, group error.
Was 32.
Minus E. Oh, you know what? I messed things up. 13.
If I reported everything right, our group score was 32.
Okay. All right. Well, let me go back open this thing up since my spreadsheet's not working properly. So we are. All right. So these are the experts' opinions. Duct tape is 1. They said it's because they can repair the canoe. It can be used up to patch up to 10-inch each. Fix the broken gunwales. So Lori, you were right on that.
Well, it's just because of my husband. My husband really does fix everything. So I've learned that anything can be fixed.
2 is the portable flotation devices. Sorry, I'm going to plug this into this spreadsheet while we go. So duct tape was 1. No, whatever. Okay. Map of the area was 3. Sleeping bags 4. Matches were 5. 6 was the food. 7 was clothes. 8 was fishing poles. 9 was the paracord. 10 was mosquito repellent. 11 was the purification tablets. 12 was the frisbee. 13 was the compass, and 14 was the whiskey. Well, I don't know if I agree with that whiskey one, but it says, I don't know if you guys can read, or if you guys read this, but it says it's all just talk about drinking. So I was like, well, of course, that's the only thing to use it for. So shift all these down. Okay. All right, so what was significantly different between the group rank and the expert rank? So let me see here real quick.
The whiskey was a big one.
Yeah, the whiskey was huge.
Mm-hmm. And the paracord, we ranked that a lot higher. I think those are the two biggest differences. And there were some others. Oh, and the fanny pack of food, they ranked it a lot higher than we did.
Yeah. Experts. Yeah, the fanny pack of food. Everything else looks like we're pretty close.
Well, does that mean we'd survive? Because if so, then we've succeeded as a group. We all live.
Yeah. Well, I guess the paracord was pretty far off. My bad, guys.
No, but I think it would
My
depend.
personal experience, I feel like I've,
I was gonna say, with you in our group, you would be able to use that more than perhaps the average person would. So for you, it is more valuable because you know how to use it.
And I'm gonna kind of argue on the whiskey one, because I think the only thought that the experts have is, oh, let's drink it. Or we're all Latter-day Saints, and we're like, we're not gonna drink it. What can we use this for?
Right, right.
We saw a usefulness of it that members of the church, that these experts, these two guys, were like, oh, we don't want to drink that. That's just gonna make us cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the experts are really that much more expert.
That's what, I'm not gonna lie, that honestly made me question it a little bit.
Well, and the truth is, it's not like when we, in this situation, we have these items. So it's not like, well, now we're only going to give you 10 of these items. You've lost the others. These are what we have. And we ranked them in our order of usefulness, but we'd find as we were going through what was really useful and what wasn't. The key thing would be splitting up the items appropriately between the group that goes to get help and the group that stays. I think that would be more important even than our ranking, just using them the best way.
Yeah. So our next question is, what was significantly similar? Our insect repellent was dead on.
Our compass was right.
Yeah, our compass was
And
right.
our duct tape. And then we had a lot that were ones. We had the fishing pole, the set of clothes,
Sleeping bags.
Sleeping bag.
The frisbee.
yeah. Well, sorry, the duct tape was off one, but we had several things that were either really close or right on.
Yeah, I feel like so the only one, the whiskey, we were way off on, but everything else were pretty close. As a group, we did better than what I did.
I did a lot better with the group. It was good to be able to talk to you and hear about different uses and think about different ways to use things that I had not considered.
All right, and then let's see my persuasion score. All right. Oh yeah. Yeah, mine's pretty. Persuasion score is pretty good. I think you guys helped me out for the better, for sure.
You guys helped me definitely. My I just added mine up. Mine was 58 individually, so I probably would have died if I went alone or with other people other than you.
What's the difference between the group score and the persuasion score? How does that work?
I think the persuasion score is if you were able to convince people to do what you thought.
So do you want a higher or a lower number there?
I think
it depends. It's like, hey, someone talked you out of it, so you probably
you want to be lower because that means that people's ranks, the group ranking was closer to your ranking. But I wasn't particularly concerned about my persuasion score. I was concerned about choosing the best things for our group. So
Definitely.
you know, and some things I just said, oh, that sounds good. I don't feel like I need to argue. So.
okay, that didn't work.
Are you having problems with the total?
No, I'm just doing my yeah. Actually, I don't know why it's not.
You need to do the absolute value of your difference. Otherwise, it's not going to be right.
All right.
It's the absolute value of your difference, and then you add the absolute value together.
You're right. Thanks.
You're welcome.
All righty. Okay. Well, what did we glean from this experience?
That we would all live because we're together, and maybe my husband would be the one with the broken leg, but he could help us fix the canoe.
So
I think we were better together, at least for me. It was better with the group. I did better listening to you and taking some of your suggestions, even when I didn't necessarily agree on everything. I did better with the group than I would have alone.
No. So, all right, Tommy or Dalen, what else do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I was able to, because I was kind of dead set on a few things, and I was able to see like the water purification tablets I thought would be number one, like close to the top. I think I had them as number 2, but I was able to learn that in that situation, it wouldn't really matter that much. So I would have gone really unprepared and probably would have like starved to death like 5 steps in.
Well, it takes a long time to starve to death. You probably wouldn't starve to death unless you were gone for a long time, but you'd be really uncomfortable.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed this lesson.
Yeah, it's pretty unique.
Yeah, I kind of got out of it that you're going to be more effective collaborating with the group than on your own thinking. Because I felt a lot of my views kind of change as we talked about it. And being like, oh, okay, I see your reasoning there. So.
Yeah. I don't know what is going on with my stupid spreadsheet. I'm like trying to add everything together, and it's just driving me nuts. Okay, so who did the best and who did the worst is what it's asking.
With our overall ranking, I got a 58. I think that was pretty bad. So.
On the individual score?
Yeah.
I got a 28.
Wow. Or your individual error.
Yeah.
28.
What I had.
I got a 42.
I got a 54.
Yeah, see, I did the worst. I would have died.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I didn't help out. I did a negative number in there still. I got 44, 46. Well, good job, Dan.
As long as this spreadsheet's working right, I didn't do anything to it. It was all pre-formatted. So.
Yeah.
Well, see, I'm writing it by hand. I have it, but I like paper and pens.
Yeah. Well, cool. That was okay. So, Dan, what was your persuasion score?
My persuasion score was a 23.
23. Pretty good. Average. We're going to find the average individual scores. All right, so sorry, let me ask you guys again your individual scores. So I got a 46. And you got 28.
Yeah.
How many years was 50?
Cool.
What was it? No. What was yours, Lori?
Mine was a 58. So it wasn't hard to improve on my score, but I wasn't super confident about this. I just didn't feel like I knew enough. But
Our average was 46.5. So I guess, yeah. If the group had, what's this? I think we did good because everyone's persuasion score was lower than the average individual score, right?
then our individual scores, you mean our persuasion score was lower than our individual score?
No, your persuasion score was better than 46.5.
Mine was not.
It wasn't.
No, it was a 54. Unless I can't add. I added it by hand.
Oh, so sorry. What was your individual score, not your persuasion score?
58.
Yeah, okay. And then you had a 54 for your...
Persuasion score was 54. I think. Let me add it again.
Huh.
Yeah, it was 54.
Are you doing the
But part of that was, I'll tell you, as I was going through and I heard you, I realized that your rankings were better than mine, and I wasn't so concerned about you choosing mine as I was about choosing the right thing for the group.
Yeah. So our group error was 32, which was really good. So we had a process gain. So we did better as a group than we did individually.
Except for Dalen.
Yeah, except for Dalen.
Sorry, Dalen, you shouldn't listen to the group. You knew what to do.
All right, so we're going to report the answers to...
Again, I still agree with what the experts say. I felt like our group became the experts. Because I feel like all my opinions, what I already had, I kind of changed to what we decided as a group.
Yeah.
And really, I got hung up with the experts is really like their use of some of the stuff, like the whiskey thing again. I just, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. With you on that. Okay, so.
Well, and I think they actually knew, like they probably know what the boat looked like is broken. I didn't even know if we had paddles. So like I ranked the Frisbee pretty high because I didn't know if we had a Frisbee, a paddle. And I'm thinking, well, if we're going to send people out on boats, I need a paddle. So I need something that I can make a paddle. And so I'm not trying to say, I make excuses, but I think they were more aware of the situation. And so they might be right, but we just kind of have this overview of it.
Yeah. So sorry guys, one more time. Laura, your individual error was 58.
58.
Dalen, yours was 28.
Yeah.
And Tommy,
So
yours
I redid mine. I messed up. It's actually a 60.
60.
I'd be the worst off.
No, you wouldn't, because we would all go together and we would all be fine.
You guys are smart.
There was that. And then what was everyone's persuasion score? Lori?
Mine was 54.
And
mine was 23.
23. And Tommy.
Sorry, I think I messed up in mine as well. I gotta redo it real quick.
Do we have to do we turn in these spreadsheets?
I don't know. It says that I need to post our answers to these questions on the discussion board. But I don't know if anyone else posts them or like if we turn them in anywhere.
Actually, I made a mistake in my too. I was looking at my figures. I'm actually at 59 for my error, and so my persuasion score is different than I think, right? No, it's the same. 59 is my individual score.
Okay.
I have a 54 for persuasion.
That's what I
Sorry about I'm sorry about this, guys, but I gotta take off.
That's
Okay.
fine. This took a little longer than planned. So.
No, you're good. Do you need any more numbers from me before I go,
Nope.
Alex,
You're good.
or is that it?
Nope, you're good. I think we should be all right now.
All right. I'll talk to you guys next week.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
So it says that if our group score was lower than the average member, then we did better. So our average score was 48.25, and our group score was 32. So we did much better as a group than we did separately.
Good.
So yeah, well, cool. That's pretty.
So we're not meeting as a group next week, are we?
No. We're supposed to talk with a family member or friend or someone about the case study.
Cool.
We still have one to submit, but we don't have a group meeting.
Cool beans. Well, cool, guys. Well, I'll post our answers to the board along with this video.
Awesome.
Call it
Thank
good.
you.
Okay. Yeah, guys, see you.
Thank you. Have a happy
Take care.
Thanksgiving.
You too.
You as
See you
well.
guys.
Thank you.
I like
Thanks.
your shirt, by the way.
Oh, thanks. I got it when I went. My husband works for Disney. We were at Disney World and they had it. I said, I need that shirt. So my son and I match.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really fun.
All right. Well, have a good weekend. Or
Thanks.
good week. See ya.
Thanks. Bye-bye.